Marvin Vettori, right, fights Roman Dolidze, and I had said this is one of those where Dolidze could absolutely win this fight, but I did not at all expect just a pure striking bout between these two fighters, right? 106 total strikes for Marvin Vettori, who clearly learned how to start throwing some leg kicks after getting pieced up by Robert Whitaker in their last one. And then for Roman Dolidze, overhands, 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 overhands. 71 strikes for Dolidze. Now, I was on Twitter when this fight was taking place, and it seems like the masses were saying Roman Dolidze clearly won this fight. Marvin Vettori should not have won. Dolidze was robbed. If you look at the numbers, it doesn't really prove that. I think it's more of a damage versus volume type situation because Marvin Vettori pointed his way to that victory skillfully. But what do you think, man? When you were watching it, eye test, did Dolidze win in your eyes? Did Vettori clearly win? Was it clear or was it super close?
It was super close, Derek. In fact, this was another one where I was saying, I don't know who won this fight. I kind of think Dolidze might have done it just because I was expecting Vettori to wrestle a lot more, and it was out of a character I was out of Marvin Vettori's character to fight that kind of a way. But he looked sharp. He was pointing things out, man. He was on the front foot the majority of the time, so I can see why he won. And in fact, I thought like at the same point, I was like, man, like if Vettori does win this fight, makes sense. Like he did a lot more of the leading of the dance than Dolidze did. Now Dolidze did have his moments where he was going, back and forth. This was a very, very close fight, so I wasn't upset with one way or the other. I think this wasn't the 30-27. There was a controversial decision on a previous fight, but this one was very, very close, man. What do you think?
I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, honestly. And when you look at MMA decisions right here, this is kind of 50-50 right here for Vettori and for Dolidze. So it goes to show it was a very close fight, and I think it's what are you looking for? We need a little more of an understanding of the true scoring criteria. Because if you look at the rounds, so it's basically so on one hand, 30-27, Paul Sutherland, and this dude was throwing out wacky-ass scores all night long, right? But 30-27 for Vettori, I don't think that's true. I think that Vettori clearly lost the first round and then came back round 3 to win the fight. So, I mean, to be completely honest with you, man, I think Dolidze, eye test wise, made it look like he was doing more damage than he was because Vettori was blocking a lot of the shots that he was throwing, right? He was throwing everything with bad intentions, and he slowed down towards the end of the fight. Vettori, on the other hand, smacking his leg back and forth all night long, right? Landed a couple of good shots, but Vettori normally isn't on his back foot the entire time. And Vettori, this is another one of those where it's like you win, but you're getting pushed up against the cage the whole fight. Does it look good? It doesn't look good. But you did what you needed to do to kind of squeak out the victory right here. At the end of the day, man, Roman Dolidze did prove to us that he is ready for these top guys. I just think he has to mix up the approach, man, because the one thing missing from Dolidze was it was all boxing. There was like not one kick thrown by Dolidze. I was like, bro, throw a couple kicks, start setting some things up, maybe a shot, you know what I mean? Like, let's see what we got. But there was none of that, man. So, I mean, were you super impressed by Vettori, or were you more impressed by Dolidze in this affair?
I was, I don't know if impressed is the right word. I was kind of flabbergasted at the approach of Vittori's only stand-up approach. Like he was just there for the hands and the feet, which was good. And then also is interested in why, like you said, you wouldn't mix up the art of mixed martial arts in that kind of fight. And you're just sticking to boxing because you're playing chess or you're playing checkers. Well, Vittori's out here. He's at least playing two-dimensional checkers with just the hands and the feet, Yeah. We're not really out there playing chess. We're not mixing it up entirely. We're not in a washing machine out here, which is still, don't get me wrong, it's still an entertaining fight. I enjoy the fight. But it was questionable why they didn't do this because I thought for sure people were they were both gonna stick to their game plans. Mm-hmm. I guess the game plans were different than what we've previously seen, so they did.
I will say this, man. This is very indicative of kind of what they're talking about for Rafael Fiziev. But these guys who are just running through the division, right, and they finally get to these top guys, right? Marvin Vettori is a perennial top 5 fighter in his division. You start hitting them with these shots that take out everybody else, but they don't take out the top guys, right? Rafael Fiziev said it himself. He was all like, against RDA, I was hitting him with some shit, man, and he just would not go down until he finally did, right? Justin Gaethje. Look at Justin Gaethje, man. He could not get Rafael Fiziev out of there, which proves Fiziev is the top guy, right? But vice versa. Fiziev was hitting him with some good stuff, and like I said, Gaethje looked like he didn't even get in a fight. So right here, I think Roman Dolidze, go back to the drawing board, but continue to keep that same belief that he had of, if I land clean on you, you're done. As long as he keeps that there, man, this dude is, like I said, problems for this division, man. So let's revisit the conversation we had really quickly in the pre-show. After seeing this fight, I know you said top 5 for sure. Dolidze could be top 3, maybe. Do you think he can be a champion in this division?
Whew. At the moment, not really, Derek. At the moment, because what is it, 185?
This is 185.
At 185. No, man, not at the moment. You're going to need to do a lot more than just pressure and try to land the big shots. You're going to have to set things up. You're going to have to set traps. You're going to have to play the game. You're going to have to confuse people in order to have them not see that big punch coming, and then that's when you get the lights out. I don't know at the moment if Dolidze has that, but I do think a couple more fights like this, a couple more fights against these top 5, top 3 opponents, he's going to find it, and he's going to find his way to there. And then, 2-3 years maybe, then we're talking championship with Dolidze. But I don't know about right now. Do you feel me, or are you thinking something different?
I think that if it does happen, it needs to happen in the next 2 years or so. He got a late start to MMA, man. He's not the youngest guy in the world. So, he needs to get back on the horse, take maybe another fight or 2 this year if possible. I mean, it's already March, so you could get 2 more in depending on how the fight, ends. But either way, when we're bringing it up, man, Marvin Vettori, minus 135, decision victory right there. Chalk all day long.